Hello, love bugs. This is Andrea, your friendly neighborhood poet. I'm recording this video. From my backyard, and I live in the country in Colorado. But there is this spot down the road where they have weddings sometimes. And just as I started making this video, somebody just said "I do." I can tell because that's when the music always starts playing, and I hope you can hear it too. I'm going to be sharing some news with you today that I was going to post by writing a post and sharing it on my socials, but realized if I did that, it might come across as really gloomy. And what's true is I'm not feeling gloomy right now. I'm feeling an overwhelming amount of hope, and even more so than that, an overwhelming amount of love and gratitude. And I just wanted you to feel that coming from me as I spoke to you. So the news I'm going to share with you is medical news. And I know this has been a really traumatic year for a lot of people in regards to medical news. So if this isn't a good time for you to hear that sort of thing, I understand. I love you, and this is a good time to just go take care of your sweet self. So, my news, I was recently diagnosed with ovarian cancer, and I'm going to tell you maybe more details than I should about how that happened, but this relationship, my relationship with all of you who have been supporting my art for so many years, is so precious to me, and it has felt like a close relationship to me in many ways. So if I tell you too much, I probably always have been telling you too much. I was in stomach pain for a couple of months. I went in for the CAT scan, and they kept telling me to pull my pants down further, which I thought was weird and also kind of kinky. But so I just kept pulling my pants down further. And they were doing so because they found a bunch of masses on my ovaries. I was really hoping that they had discovered alien implants, but that wasn't the case. So I went in for surgery so they could figure out if it was cancerous. They found out in the middle of the surgery that it was. So what they did from there was I had what's called a radical hysterectomy. I love the idea of it being radical. They took my cervix, my ovaries, my fallopian tube, what else is in there? My uterus. And also, just to be safe, they took lymph nodes and this yellow part of your stomach that I think sort of looks like the sun, that you don't really need, that tends to be sort of a magnet for ovarian cancer. And so the amazing news is, now that with all of that stuff gone, my sweetheart, feels like a teenager whose parents have just left town. It's like running around in my chest constantly. I feel so, again, I feel so much love. It's like my heart has quadrupled in size. And if anybody had told me that this kind of news that I feared for so much of my life, I thought this would be the worst time ever. Has not at all been the worst time, because I feel so much more love than I ever have in my life. Love for my community, for my family, for my friends, for my puppies, for all of you, for art, for this grass, for these trees. And that is an immeasurable gift. The other gift that has come from this, is that I just found out that they didn't find cancer in my lymph nodes, and it also wasn't in that sunny yellow part of my belly, and that's really great news. I don't know if I told you, but they said it's stage 2B cancer, and it's a kind that is really is the most responsive to chemotherapy. And all of that made me so happy to hear. So I'm going to keep going. In a few days, I'm going to start about 5 months of chemotherapy. So I'll be postponing my fall dates. It also will slightly impact a few other projects that I was just about to launch. But I'll give you the details of that in the future. And I want you to know where some of my gratitude is coming from right now. I have an amazing manager. I have an amazing booking agent, both queer women. I have just an amazing, extraordinary team on my side. The promoters who had booked the shows for me, who had put tons of energy into those shows, have been so loving and so understanding. My surgeon, my doctor, my oncologist, all the same person, she is incredible. The nurses around her just overwhelmed me. Like, I couldn't talk to them without crying because they're just so fantastic. I have this new adoration for nurses. And I have so much faith in my team. I have so much faith that I am working with the best possible team that I could be working with. Okay. Whew. That felt like the hardest stuff to say. And I'm sweating because it's 95 degrees out. I'm not sweating from nervousness for once in my life. Take a breath. Okay, so some of you know I have chronic Lyme disease. So I know what you're thinking. You're thinking that chronic Lyme and chemotherapy sound mixed together, sound like a party. I'm at a party I don't want to be at. I at first thought that was the worst possible thing ever. I thought, there is no way I'm going to be able to do chemo with Lyme. And then my perspective entirely shifted, and I'll tell you why. The thing about having Lyme for so many years, especially in the beginning, when I was really, really sick and it was really acute, I would go through days where I thought, if I'm in this pain for one more day, it's not livable. It's not livable to do this one more day. And then 365 days later, that pain was still there, and I got through it. And there were a few years like that in my life, and most of which I was touring the whole time, because art is just such medicine to me. And so I know deep in my core that during those hard days in chemo, because I have friends who have been through this, when you feel like you just can't do another day and it's so terrible, I will have these memories to return to of knowing that there were days in my past that I thought that, and I got through it. And so I want you all to know that I'm strong. I have faith. I have faith in my I have faith in my body. I have faith in my stamina. I have faith in my courage. And I also understand enough to know that there will be days that feel impossible, and in those days my friends and community will keep that hope for me. My biggest desire right now, because I've just been so struck with the feeling that love is never leaving me. It's just this so much love and gratitude, which is simply the opposite. It's simply the opposite of what I ever thought I would be feeling, because y'all know I'm a really nervous person. The nerves have gone away almost entirely, and all that's there is love. And on that point, some of the times when I was really sick with Lyme, I would notice that I could use the pain to propel myself to a state of just living in love. And there were other times when I was really sick with Lyme that I was my worst self, that I was so far from love. And so my biggest commitment, I have nothing else that I'm thinking of more right now than to keep this love that's in my heart right now, filling my chest for as many days as I can throughout this time, because I know there will be moments when it challenges me. So another thing I've learned, if I've mentioned anything I've learned thus far, is that this isn't something I'm at all going through alone. It's something everyone who is close to me is going through too. When I woke up from surgery, my partner Meg was the first face I saw, and so she was the one who got the job of telling me that I had cancer. And she knows me so well, And she did it in a way that only she would know how to do, and it was the perfect way to tell me. I spent the next 3 days with my head on my mom's lap, because as soon as I knew any of this has happened, I just I just wanted my mom. And we laugh so much. We've been laughing so much, y'all. Me and my family and my friends, so much laughter. My dad had to tell me to stop to stop laughing because after a hysterectomy, you're supposed to let your stomach muscles rest. And I've not been able to do it. There's just been so much that's funny. So I'll tell you a funny thing. My surgeon, doctor, oncologist, she's, again, all of those things, which is just too much for one person to be. Jesus, I'm so glad I'm just a poet. I had this dare when I was going in for the pathology report. I was asking my friends if they dared me to look at her very seriously and say, so now that you've taken my ovaries and my cervix and my uterus, can you tell me how long it will be before my penis grows in? And say it very seriously, but I didn't dare. God damn it. It's one of the biggest regrets of my life right now. And also, she's too kind. But I wish I'd done it. Anyways, so more. A couple of years ago, my therapist, y'all know, who I'm always quoting, was diagnosed with stage 3C colon cancer. It was quite serious, and she was going through chemotherapy, and she was still seeing some clients at the time. And you can see my hairs in my eyes, but it's because I don't want to cut it, because it's probably not going to be here for long, so I'm just letting it grow. So she was going through chemotherapy. She was seeing clients during the time. And I was trying to think about what is possible for me to do during this time, because I know for some people it's healthy if you have the privilege to not work. It's healthy to not work. And I know for some people it's healthy to work. For some people it isn't healthy to. Though I can't determine what's going to be most healthy for me until chemo actually begins. This space, making art, sharing with y'all, putting things into the world that I hope might comfort somebody in their day, is actually medicine for me. It's why I kept touring through Lyme disease. It's because art has always been life-giving to me. And so throughout this time, it's my plan to keep sharing on socials, to keep sharing parts of this journey, to stay as connected with y'all as possible, because that has just always been so vital to me, and I know it will continue to be. Something else I'm going to keep doing, which might seem kind of awkward from the outside, so I'm going to talk about it before, is promoting my upcoming book. It might seem strange for somebody to be promoting something while going through chemo, and I'm not doing that for monetary reasons, even though if I were, that would be fine and great. I think we struggle as a culture being comfortable with the idea of artists making a living from their art, so I don't want to play into that right now. But the reason for it is when I was writing my book, I took so much care with it. I vetted every single line of the book, looking for anything I wouldn't want to say if it were my last day on earth. And I had never done anything like that, never taken so much care to put a very specific kind of beauty into the world. I know that was colored by the fact that we were in a world pandemic where impermanence was presenced for all of us. But when I got this diagnosis, it haunted me, I'll admit, a little bit. But because that book is so precious to me in that way, I'm going to just keep putting it out there as I want it in. I want as many people to read it as possible. So I'm going to keep doing that. Finally, what else do I want to tell you? Okay, yeah. So finally, the hardest thing about the idea of posting anything about this, or writing anything, sharing this video, was that I know that because a lot of my work has historically been about mental illness, mental health, and suicidality. I know a lot of folks who follow me on here follow me because they themselves are waking up each day in a lot of pain, suffering, maybe not wanting to live many more days. And it's really hard for me to think about sharing any news with y'all that might make your day harder. But I want to speak to that. Truth comes with connection, and we are more connected now. And what comes with connection is peace. So with whatever feelings you might be feeling, I hope one of them is peace, because I am feeling so much peace with how connected I have felt to everyone lately. And I hope this further connection between us brings you some peace, as well. We are so blessed to be on this planet at the same time. There is so much love here, and I need you all in this world with me, and I want you to feel it all and keep going. You're so beautiful, and I want you to know I have so much fucking hope for my future, and I have so much hope for yours, and I have so much hope for ours, and I'm so grateful to each one of you for continuing to inspire that hope in me over the years. And one last thing, my therapist told me that when she was going through chemo, there was this song that she was playing on repeat, and it's a song by Pink called I Am Here. And I have been blasting that song and dancing to it constantly. I've been screaming it. Meg keeps saying that whenever I sing it so earnestly. And so if you're having a hard moment in the upcoming months, just know whenever I'm having a hard moment, I'm blasting that song, and I invite you to blast it and dance with me. And I think that's all I'm going to say for now. I hope my voice has been comforting. I hope the trees behind me at least have. I love you all so much. I'm so grateful for you. And I'm here, and I'm gonna keep sharing how this is going. And thank you so much for everything.